Hi, friends. Susan Blackwell here. The new year is upon us, and even under the best of circumstances, the creative process can cover some pretty rocky terrain, and our spidey senses tell us 2025 may bring even more challenging conditions. Now more than ever, we believe everyone is creative, but smart creatives don't go it alone. That's why we hope you'll join us and other awesome creatives on January 1st for the SparkFile 2025 New Year Creativity Kickoff. At this one-day virtual retreat, you'll clarify what you want to create and how you want to get there. You'll meet other makers, you'll strengthen your creative resolve, and you'll leave with an action plan for making your creative dreams a reality. It's all happening on January 1st. Visit thesparkfile.com to register for the SparkFile 2025 New Year Creativity Kickoff and to take advantage of early registration incentives like lower pricing. Y'all, in 2025, let's link arms, fear less, and create more. We'll see you there.
The SparkFile podcast may contain profanity and other adult content.
Please use your discretion.
When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my spark file. Could be something that I want to make or how I want to be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.
Welcome to the Spark File, where we believe that everyone is creative, but smart creative people don't go it alone.
I'm Laura Camion.
And I'm Susan Blackwell, and we are creativity coaches who help people clarify and accomplish their creative goals.
You ought to know that just by listening to this podcast, you're joining a warm and wonderful clan of creatives.
But you may also be asking yourself, what exactly is a Spark File?
A Spark File is a place where you consistently collect all of your inspirations and fascinations. Every episode, we're going to reach into our Spark Files and exchange some sparks. And from time to time, we're going to talk to some folks who spark us too.
And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to take some of those sparks of inspiration and make something of your own. So without further ado, let's open up
The Spark
File. Laura Camion.
Susie B. Hi.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready for a spark?
I so am. We're in the midst of the holiday season.
Jingle, jangle, jingle.
Merry and bright.
Laura, it sure is. It's a holiday time. That can mean so many things. And one of the things that this time can mean is gifts. Receiving gifts, giving gifts, maybe even creating gifts. So today, I want to talk about gifts.
You're going to spark me with some gifts?
And gifts and creativity. Yes. And disclaimer before we begin, gifts have been growing increasingly tricky for me as I age and as my nearest and dearest age, because most of us are fortunate enough to have pretty much everything we need. What a privilege.
Oh, that's a
We don't
seriously
need more
privileged
stuff.
statement right there.
It
have what
is.
we need.
Yes.
That is correct. And I would like to add to that, just to complicate it, make it harder for you, Suze. Thankfully, I have what I need, and I'm finding that I need even less.
Yes.
And, as we hopefully get wiser in our age and we realize like, hey, I don't need all the crap I thought I, desperately needed. And, there's so much more to life.
Yes. Yes. But it makes gift giving
challenge.
It makes it more challenging.
Can I tell you something really cheesy though?
Yes.
Your spark is a gift. Oh, can you believe I said that?
My God. You mean this spark?
This very spark, every spark.
Everybody sign the card. This is Laura's holiday gift for 2024. You're like, no, but what about the stuff? Where are the candles? Just to finish the thought, I feel like gift giving gets harder and I feel like I need to dig deeper.
Yeah.
So I prepared this spark because I needed some inspiration to dig deeper. So if you're listening to this
is the sound of you digging deep.
This is the sound of me making and taking my own medicine when it comes to gift giving.
Okay, I can't
So
wait.
before we go forward, let's go back and learn a
Okay.
bit more about the history of gift giving. According to my friend Google, the tradition of gift giving has been practiced for thousands of years and may have predated the beginning of human civilization. According to the paleoanthropologist Ariane Burke, between 35,000 and 10,000 years ago, our ancestors were exchanging presents like unusually shaped rocks, decorated bone, shells, ivory, feathers, animal teeth. That's what I got you this year, a box. I got you a prescription bottle that's empty of the prescription but filled with animal teeth.
Thank
And they
you
would
so
exchange
much.
these things to strengthen social connection and show their appreciation of others.
That's really sweet to
Isn't it?
know that, like, yeah, I mean, truly, that it is almost hardwired into our DNA to want to express gratitude.
I
I
I
love that. That's
I
beautiful.
love it. And just this week, my sister was visiting and she said, "You know what I would love from you?" And I
Teeth.
said, "Yes." A rock. She was like, "I'd love a rock to put in my garden."
Oh,
And I said, "Do I have a
have a
rock for
rock for
you?"
you.
And I actually had sitting right behind this desk where I'm podcasting 3 rocks that I had found that I just loved the shape of them, these sort of smooth river stones
Uh
that I
huh.
had then used my Cricut
Uh huh.
to make, this very colorful application that says, "You rock." So I gave her
Yes.
3
That
rocks.
is so awesome. And now she's going to be in her garden and she's going to
Yeah,
see them and just
yeah,
smile and think of you. That
because
is,
she knows she rocks, and she knows
she
that we are
knows.
just like ye olde pre-civilization gift exchangers.
Yeah.
But you're getting teeth, Laura. That's what you're getting this year.
I'm already thinking about what to make out of them. I'm going to make you a necklace of teeth and then
Just keep
gift it
giving
back
them
to
back
you.
and forth. Gross. So back to the history of gift giving. So as social structures developed, the gifts became more elaborate and decorative. In ancient Egypt, during their new year, which would have fallen around our calendar of July 19th, they would exchange gifts like vases or
Mhm.
vases, if you prefer,
Vase. I prefer
or
vase.
small flasks filled with holy water from the River Nile, which I thought was
Wow.
very interesting. The Middle Ages brought the birth of romantic gifts. Since prehistoric
Mm.
times, flowers and other plants had been used primarily for medicinal purposes, but in the Middle Ages, flowers became their own love language because as the Roman Catholic Church looked down on any public demonstration of romance, lovers gave each other flowers to express their feelings without being punished for it.
Wait a minute.
Thanks, Catholic Church.
Wait, what? So I missed. Sorry. So they were punished for giving other kinds of gifts, but
No,
not
no,
flowers?
punished for PDA.
Oh,
And
got it.
so
And
they
so
could
flowers was a
were a
way to.
message. Yeah. I give you this yellow rose to say that we are friends. I give you this prescription bottle filled with animal teeth to say we are lovers.
We are we are more than friends.
There you go.
Um, I want to crawl inside your mouth. Listen, I want to say that earlier when I said your spark was a gift, I was just being cheesy and weird. But the way you are sewing in these historical references, come on, this
I
is
know
a
Laura
gift.
Cambian.
You know me. I
I
love
do.
that. This is
I
two things I
do.
never knew.
Oh, there you
Look at
there's
that.
more.
Okay.
So in the Middle Ages, beyond flowers, singing serenades, reciting poems, sewing locks of hair into clothing. This is something else I'm doing for
Mhm.
you this year, Laura. These were all but surprise, I'm not going to tell you which of your garments. These were commonly exchanged between romantic partners. And today, we still take inspiration from these medieval gifts, whether that's writing a song or a poem for a loved one or making
Mhm.
someone a killer mixtape. This all comes from the Middle Ages.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember those sweatshirts I gave you? Have you looked in the seams?
Gross. I'm wearing a sweater that you right now, I'm wearing a sweater that I love that you gave me, and I bet if I just, like, check the seams carefully.
A lock of my hair.
Ugh, God. In Native American tribes, predominantly a tradition of the Pacific Northwestern tribes, the potlatch was a ceremony where gifts and property were given to confirm or reconfirm the wealth and status of the gift giver. So the more elaborate the presents in the ceremony, the more powerful the gift giver. A powerful
Wow.
tribe leader would be expected to shower their tribe according to their rank with elaborate gifts. And
Wow.
here's the thing I found that I love the most. The Maoris of New Zealand believed that an energy called Hau, Hau, entered into the gift and created a permanent connection between the giver and the receiver. And this informs my whole spark today. This is so interesting to me. There are lots of reasons to exchange gifts, but gifts that create a connection between the giver and the
Yes.
receiver is just the ultimate, isn't it?
Ah, yes, it's the best. It's the best.
So today, I want to provide myself and you, Laura, and our listeners some inspiration for gifts with an emphasis on creativity and gifts that create that connection between the giver and the
Oh,
receiver.
I'm excited.
And I want to begin with the mindset around gift giving. I know a few people who have a superpower when it comes to gift giving. They are really gifted when it comes to gifting. Laura, you actually have this.
Oh,
We
thank
have
you.
we have an you are great at this. We have another client named Elisa Wilson, great at this, and Spark Filer Anne Marie Petersma has this.
So great.
Anne Marie has helped me come up with some killer gifts for important people in my life. She helped me come up with the concept for our friend Hunter Bell's 50th birthday gift, where I reached out to many people who love Hunter and gave them the opportunity to send in messages for him, which
Yeah.
I printed on individual cardstock, put each in its own envelope, stacked them in a beautiful box, wrapped in a bow. And in addition to everyone's lovely messages, I was able to collect enough to purchase gift certificates for places that I knew Hunter loved, where he could make
Yeah.
choices about what he got. So he got
Yeah.
a Stitch Fix wardrobe update and health classes for Mark Fisher Fitness. He got a gift certificate for Warby Parker for great new specs. He got
Oh,
a gift certificate for books and Bombas socks and a great massage from a great massage therapist. And on
so
his 50th
good.
birthday, Laura, you contributed to that.
I know. I was happy to.
It was so fun. And then Hunter on his 50th birthday sat alone on the beach with his
Oh.
toes in the sand and read those messages from people. And I think he felt really loved.
I would say so. I think that's
Yeah,
such an incredible gift because of exactly that. Gift certificates are nice, the messages really nice, but the whole thing taken as a collective, the whole thing was about making him feel loved
that's right.
by
That's
many
right.
people, and you did that.
Anne Marie helped me again when my husband turned 50. He felt really ambivalent about celebrating this milestone birthday, which occurred on July 1st. And as I kept having conversations with him
"What do you
well in
wanna
advance, do
do?"
you want to take a
Yeah.
trip? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do
Mhm.
that? And he was just like not feeling it. So I took a different approach and I said, let's make a list of everything you love.
Mm.
And we sort of had this ongoing conversation, a list of all these things he loves: sports cars, record albums, vintage tech, hot sauce, Christmas. And I organized a Christmas in July for him when he was out of town. I put up the Christmas
Mm.
tree. Friends from far and wide sent gifts wrapped in festive
Ornaments.
paper.
Mhm.
Yes. So there was a little pile of gifts under that tree. The creativity that people expressed was off the charts. Laura,
Yeah.
you and West Day sent a vintage Santa candle, a toy sports car, and some great classic vinyl. The sports car and the Santa, which look like they belong together, have been up on our mantle ever since.
Oh. I'm so honored.
Oh my God, everyone's thoughtfulness and creativity just made the day, which was the source of some melancholy for
Yeah.
Nathan. It made the
Yeah.
day so much more uplifting. And again, he felt really loved.
Ugh.
So,
Suze, you're doing it. Look at what you're doing with your gift giving.
well, but this is what, when I was talking to Elisa Wilson, another gifted gift giver, about this, she was saying as she ages, she calls them more emotional gifts.
Uh-huh.
She's always on the lookout, and then
Uh-huh.
she's like holds them for the right
Yeah.
time. And this is something that was reflected in what Anne Marie Petersma, another gifted gift giver, shared with me. I went to her in preparation for this spark and I said, "How did you get so good at gift giving?" And she
Mm.
shared that her brain can recognize patterns and retain them. And this combined with her love of shopping flows into her love of gift giving. So, in essence, whenever someone mentions something about
Mm.
themselves, it goes into a gift spark file in her brain.
Oh my God.
So this can mean, and this is a great thing these are great prompts to be on the lookout for. When someone mentions something forgotten that
Mm-hmm.
they've recently remembered, something
Yes.
special to them, something lost, something that reminds them of a time or place or person or experience that
Yes.
they loved, Anne Marie clocks that. And then she's on the lookout for that thing that speaks to the thing that the person mentioned.
Yes.
And she said this, and Elisa said this, the timing of the gift giving is part of the magic. So just enough time has passed so the person has forgotten that they've mentioned the thing, and then shabap, you just hit them with that gift. So that was their
Oh
formula.
my
Laura, you're
God.
great at this too. Any insights that you have about
Well,
this?
this is gonna sound selfish, but it's related to Anne Marie's like the love of shopping. I love to find obscure and like anything from history,
Mm,
stories, right? So, like
mhm.
when you mentioned that your home was built out of some beams that
Yes.
were in the 1960s World Fair,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And so I'm a nerd like that. And I'm like, I want to find something related to the World's Fair and
Yes.
specifically the Christian Science Building so that Susan and Nathan can have like some context for those big, beautiful beams that run through their home. So it's a little bit like nerdiness on my part, but it is that shopping gene too of like, I can find this, I can search for it because especially you were mentioning as we get older, I find myself to be so much more excited by and I don't know, just completely enamored with things that cannot be found at every store. So I'm less interested in things that you could just go out and buy and more interested in like I was at an auction
Yes.
and this thing or I was in a vintage shop in Tennessee and I
Yeah.
found this little thing. So I that for me is it's similar because you're listening, but I'm usually listening for those little things that might be like, "Oh wow, I wonder if they've ever tried to search for that." And if not,
Yes.
I'll do it. I'll do the searching.
You have given me such great gifts. You help, yes, you help me pick out additional World's Fair, 1964, 65 World's Fair gifts for Nathan.
Mm.
You gave me this sweater that has weirdo stitched into it that I love.
Also, may I
You,
say I have the identical one, and so does Anne Marie Petersma. So we are all
so
three weirdos. Yep.
a golden thread runs through it. You gave me a necklace that was your necklace that I
Oh,
admired. You gifted it to me, and
yeah.
I wore it so much that it became part of the original costume for the character of Susan in Title of Show. And it was fragile, and they had to replace it, kind of recreate it
Yeah.
because it was, but
Because
that,
it was glass. It was
yeah,
vintage
glass beads.
red glass beads and like layers and
Uh,
layers of them.
it
I
was like
loved it.
caviar for your neck.
I loved that
I
you
still have
loved
it.
it. Oh, I love that
And
you
the
do.
note. I have it. I have the box you gave it to me in,
Oh,
and the note is still in the box. I have it all right in my top drawer.
see, again, that's a piece of jewelry that I found at a vintage store. that you couldn't find anywhere else.
No,
If I tried right now to be like, I
no.
want a necklace just like that, I
Uh,
couldn't find it.
it was so beautiful. It was so
You know
beautiful.
what I love? Those little finger puppets that we got for
Oh,
from you
yes.
and others on opening night. The little finger puppet of Susan is wearing a little red bead necklace, and
That's right.
I smile every time I look at it.
I gave you for you all for the opening of Title of Show. I forgot about that. I gave you finger puppets
Mm,
made by my amazing friend Craig, and
amazing.
everybody also got. This is such a dumb gift because everyone lives in small New York apartments. A puppet theater,
It
a
was
Title of Show puppet
amazing.
theater that was
Amazing.
the proscenium of the Lyceum
The
Theater.
craziest and most amazing gift, and thank you, Craig. Your work is
Craig's a
beautiful.
special, special person.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So I went to, I crowdsourced.
I
I was
love
like,
when you
friends,
crowdsource. I
I
love
love
it.
crowdsourcing this because people have so many great things that they have shared. So I just want to tell you and you, listener, some other beautiful things that are ideas for those kinds of gifts that just create a connection
Mm,
between the giver and the receiver.
I
So
can't wait.
I've talked about this on the podcast before, but our friend Tom Schulteis tells this story about how his mom, Carol, viewed her Aunt Rose as a mother figure. Aunt Rose had made a tooth fairy pillow for Carol's daughter when Carol's daughter was little. And this tooth fairy pillow had a pocket. And when Carol's daughter
Oh.
would lose a tooth, put the tooth in the pocket, and then the tooth fairy comes in the night, takes the tooth, and leaves a little money in the pocket. Many years later, Aunt Rose passed away, which was a great loss for Carol because Carol viewed Aunt Rose as someone who loved her unconditionally.
Mm,
Flash forward several years later, Carol's kids were helping her clear stuff out of the house. She was trying not to look at everything because she would have a hard time letting go of
yeah.
material objects that she had a sentimental attachment to. And her kids ended up throwing away the tooth fairy pillow. And Carol remembers lifting the lid of the trash can, seeing the pillow, and deciding in the moment she had to let it go. She had too many things in her life, she had to let it go. So she closed the lid, and that was it. Then, for the next 13
Oh
years, Carol would bring
no.
up again and again the pain and regret of letting that pillow go,
Oh.
that she didn't grab it. So Tom, our friend Tom, heard his mom, Carol, tell this story over and over again for 13 years. So one Mother's Day, Tom worked with his mother in law, Winnie, to make Carol a new tooth fairy pillow. He found similar
Oh.
fabric and he worked with Winnie on the design, and he wrote a little poem to put in the little pocket of the tooth fairy pillow. Tom sent it to his mom, Carol, with the instructions that she had to be on the phone with him when she opened it. And when she saw it, she couldn't even speak. And though it
Oh.
wasn't the original pillow, Carol now had something to replace that painful loss. And
Oh.
she now has that pillow in one of her display cases, and he's never heard her talk about it again in the same way.
You know, a gift like that also it isn't like this is going to replace what you had, but it says I see you and
That's right.
I feel the pain that you have felt and I
Yes.
understand.
I have chills, Laura. This is the summary of my spark. So many of
Oh,
these gifts are I see you, you matter to me, I heard
yes.
you.
Yes.
So many of them. So
Oh,
so that's what it's all about.
I
And
love that.
here's some more examples to fill up your
I just
spark
want to say,
file.
Tom, what a beautiful gift. Tom,
What a beautiful
well done.
freaking gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. To heal something, to
Mm-hmm.
close a loop. It's so beautiful. So, we have this client I just talked about, gifted gift giver, Elisa Wilson,
Elisa.
who said that a love of giving gifts was instilled in her by her parents. Elisa loves finding the best gift for someone.
Oh,
For her mother's last birthday, her mom had mentioned that she felt like she didn't know her children and grandchildren. So Elisa asked everyone in the family to fill out this great questionnaire And Elisa made it into a bound book with current information about the family. And now Elisa's mom feels like she has something to talk to them about. She can engage with them
Wow.
about things that matter to them.
Wow.
Elisa said everyone in the family showed up and responded. Some wrote novels, some wrote less, but featured more photos. And Elisa made that whole book with an online service called Mixbook. And I'm sure there's several
Wow.
online services that do that. But I thought that was so
That's
thoughtful and
incredible.
so generous.
And the kind of gift that will not only keep on giving for her mom, but for every family member, like to deepen those connections and those
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah. That's a goodie.
Wow.
Elisa's husband, Mike, who
Oh,
we also love,
yes.
Mike came up with a great gift for Elisa's birthday this year. Elisa had been best friends with Susanna since they were girls. They met at school, and this past year, Susanna passed away.
Mm.
So, Elisa's husband, Mike, called the PTA of the school where these girls met. And working with the school's PTA, Mike gifted a donation in honor of Susanna and Elisa. And the PTA used Mike's donation to put a bench in the lobby of the school where those girls first met.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Isn't that the best? And Mike, if you're listening to this, why don't you rock the fuck on? That is such a thoughtful, loving
Oh,
gift.
God, that just got me.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't that
That's
loving?
beautiful. And
Yeah.
again, something that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
new set of
Girls are gonna
girls are
sit on
gonna
that
meet and sit
yes!
and talk and
I
become
thought the
best friends
same
on that
thing.
bench. Oh,
Yes. Yes. I loved that so much, Mike. That was so great.
wow.
I
Well
think
done.
crafted gifts are so lovely. Something that my mom did for years, and our friend Mark Lingenfelter's mom also did for years, was to create a series of handmade ornaments
Oh,
for
neat.
family and
Yeah.
friends. Even Mark's coworkers have a series of the cross stitch ornaments that his mom has made.
Oh, awesome.
On Facebook, Tom Mattingly shared that 30 years ago, his dad hand built a shaker pendulum wall clock for Tom, and it still hangs in Tom's home. And he said, as dad sinks further into Alzheimer's, it means more and more to
Oh,
me. And I was like, what a poignant gift.
wow.
Time, and that Tom's had that on his wall. I just thought that was so beautiful. Tom, thank you
Wow.
so much for sharing that.
Oh, I love that.
Our friend Tim Bazzi gifts cuttings and germinations from his succulent plants.
Oh,
And he says he has so many, his plants are thriving, that first it was like friends, family, coworkers, and now he leaves them out on the curb for strangers to come
please
and please take a plant.
grow beautiful plants.
This was an amazing thing. Andrew Nielsen shared, for my 30th birthday, I was surprised with a shot for shot, full length reenactment of an episode of Over the Garden Wall, starring my friends, filmed in my own apartment while I was out of town for less than 24 hours. We all sat down on my birthday to watch the entire series. This is a great series that Andrew loves. They sat down to watch the entire series, and a few episodes in, the recreated episodes started playing, and I was extremely confused,
No
then delighted.
way.
Those are some kick-ass
Oh
friends. What a
my
gift. What a
gosh.
gift.
What a gift.
That's a rock fact.
Wow.
Love that.
Wow.
Aaron J. Hunt on Facebook shared that he created a custom cattle brand and stand for his wife with all of the significance and deep backstory. And I was like, that is, I mean, talk about a
Wow.
bespoke gift.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Tova Serlman gave her best friend a quilt, largest quilt that Tova had made at that time, inspired by Sunday in the Park with George. And Tova said she learned how to quilt during the pandemic watching YouTube videos.
Okay, quilting is no joke.
No fucking joke.
That's some serious craft.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Bought gifts can also be wildly creative and create a
Absolutely.
connection between the giver and the recipient. This is a blind item. My friend, we'll call him C. My friend C gave my friend J a plain white envelope containing a plain white card with one word written on it, Peru. And Jay, the recipient, knew exactly what it was. C had gifted Jay with an ayahuasca retreat in Peru, something Jay had wanted to experience, and it changed Jay's life. She came back believing there was something greater than us, a loving, creative spirit as a result of that ayahuasca journey. I think that's a hell of a gift.
Wow. And a hell of a presentation.
Hell of Peru.
Yeah,
Isn't that? Oh my
Peru.
God, it's so clean. I love that.
Ah,
Laura, I think about your sister Nori. After your dad passed, she had pillows made of his
oh
shirts
my
that she
gosh.
gave to your family. I think that's so
And they
special.
have like this really sweet, tiny little poem on
Oh,
there. And yes, it was so special, so truly special. I'll
love that.
treasure it
I
always.
love that. So I have a friend who is a layaway angel. He goes to department stores and pays off strangers' layaway
Oh,
debts during the
wow.
holidays. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the term, layaway is a payment plan which allows a consumer to put down a deposit on an item and lay it away for future pickup. It's sort of for folks who maybe they don't have cash on hand or they're ineligible for credit cards. So if a family has all of their Christmas gifts on layaway, my friend goes and he clears the debt
Wow.
with no anonymously, totally
Wow.
anonymously. So imagine going to pay off your holiday gifts
Oh,
and learning that your balance is zero. I love that
oh my
gift.
gosh. That gives me chills. Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah. That's
beautiful?
wonderful.
So, if you're interested, if you want to be a layaway angel, you can visit a retail store with a layaway program like Walmart or Burlington Coat Factory, anonymously select a customer's layaway order and pay it off completely. And you can focus on families that have children's items and toys
Mm,
just by asking the staff for options with toys or clothing. So, something to think
that's
about.
really, really kind.
You know what I think one of the greatest gifts we have ever received?
Oh, what? Oh, I
What were you
know.
what were you gonna say?
Well, we have received funding
That's what I was gonna say.
for our clients from the most beautiful human being who essentially is like, I believe so much in what you're doing, and I can see how you're transforming lives, and I want to support your students and clients.
That's, I think, one of the greatest gifts.
Huge. It's huge. It has allowed that scholarship money has allowed so many people
Yeah,
to be able to work with the Spark File.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't take that lightly.
Anonymous gifter,
You know who you are, and we are grateful.
are you listening to this podcast right now with a little smile dawning on your face?
Mm.
Thank you, person. Thank you, person.
Ooh.
Here's just to take a complete turn. My friend, the great Kelly Novitzky, a person who infuses the way that she lives with creativity, took the gift thing, flipped it, and reversed it when she shared this. For my birthday one year, I asked everyone in lieu of gifts to share something with me via email that brought them joy or inspired them. Could be a quote, a comfort meal, an activity, etc. Then I spent the year weaving that something into my life. I turned someone's favorite quote into a mug, another into a bookmark, and another I commissioned someone on Etsy to turn into a print. My friend Megan loved to ski. She took me skiing for my first and last time. Laughing emoji. Another friend had me join him at the Performing Arts Library to watch his favorite musical. I joined another friend for dinner at his favorite
Ah,
Jewish deli. Another friend had me come over and played his guitar and sang for me. And our pal Jeff Bowen took me bird watching. It was a remarkable way to connect with
wow.
people who bring me the most joy and inspire me the most by learning more about them. Isn't that a rad idea? Talk about creating a gift that creates connection between the giver and the receiver and the
Oh,
giver
yeah.
and the receiver and the giver and the receiver. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
And all year long,
And
giving,
all year long.
and receiving. Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
gifts that support someone's creativity can
Come
make such a great gift. For someone who loves to crochet or knit, this could be a gift certificate to a great local yarn store. Years
Mhm.
ago, Nathan, my husband, gifted us our podcast equipment and got us all hooked up to make this podcast
Thank
the
you,
gift that keeps on giving.
Nathan. Ah.
I remember opening it, and with each package I opened, I was like, okay, I think we just need headphones. And then it's like, the headphones. So great.
Oh my God.
If you have a fine artist in your life, this is an idea that I had, and I did a little bit of this for you and Hunter. I was traveling in Europe, and there are amazing independent art stores. So bringing back paints or pastels
Oh my
or
God.
pens
Yes.
from your travels could be so cool
So
for your
good. So
artist
good.
friends.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you want to give the gift of an amazing creative experience and you live near New York, our very own Wes Day is a certified Bob Ross painting instructor. And
Oh.
Wes creates these amazing Bob Ross painting experiences where everything is laid out for you, your paint, your easel, your canvas, and he guides you through the making of an entire painting from the blank canvas to the finished work. Happy little trees, happy little clouds, and all. And I think that would be an amazing gift and a fun thing to do with the recipient, your friend or a date or a group. And you can find more about it at westday.com.
Oh my gosh. You are after my heart. I can vouch for it. It's a fucking fantastic experience.
How fun would that
You
be?
will marvel at yourself. Like truly, Wes will take you through it and you'll just be like, I can't believe I made that.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
then you
cool.
could let that painting dry and you could gift it to somebody else.
That's right.
I mean, gifts on gifts. For anybody living anywhere, the Sparkfile New Year Creativity Kickoff is a great gift, and it's a wonderful tradition. It's a one-day virtual retreat led by me and Laura Camion, and it is
Yay.
designed to put you on the good foot for the coming year. It's so fun. It's deep. You meet so many interesting people. You could give this gift to a friend or yourself, and it's really good for self-improvers, artists, performers, writers, creatives, Sparkfile fans.
People who want to pivot, people who are ready to like
Yes,
write a
career
new
pivoters.
chapter for their life. What's next for them? Oh, that's a good one,
It is a
Suze.
good one. You can find out about that at thesparkfile.com. So what do we make of this, Laura Camion?
Tell me.
Before I tell you, I want to ask you the question I asked on social. What do you think is one of the most creative gifts you have ever given or received?
So I'll mention something that I gave that I'm really proud of, and that is so over the course of my dad's life, we as a family had tried to piece together kind of what happened to our grandpa in World War II because he was a 101st Screaming Eagle,
Oh,
and which is he's a paratrooper. He jumped out of a plane going too fast and too low on D-Day, and if you know the movie Saving Private Ryan, you know they all got scattered to the wind. So, and he did make it back from the war, but he wouldn't talk about what he had done.
yeah.
So over the years, we were always finding books, and we went on a trip and had like a tour guide take us through everything, small French towns where Grandpa likely um, ended up, etc. But just a couple years ago, before Dad passed, I was thanks to Anne Marie Petersma, I was on a particular auction site searching for things related to 101st Airborne,
Wow.
and I found a book, like a really big picture book, but it's so old. It's not what you can imagine a picture book would look like right now, but um photographic. It was created by the PR department of the Army. So it was a bit propaganda, if you would. Like there was nothing
Mhm.
negative in it,
Mhm.
but it was an internal. There were only a few made. so that they would distribute, like, so people inside the Army could have an understanding of everything that the 101st Airborne did during World War II. So you go page by page through the different battles, through the different details, and all of these images that we had never seen before, despite all of our searching for
Wow.
information.
Wow.
And I bid on it ferociously, and I got it. And I was able to gift it to my dad the very last Christmas that we had together.
Oh, Laura, what a glorious gift.
It was pretty awesome. And then I'm happy to say I got to re-gift it just a few weeks ago at Thanksgiving because my stepmom had given it back to me after dad
Oh,
passed, which was so lovely. Thank you, Julie. And my dad's brother, John,
oh,
I was like, Uncle Johnny, I have something for you. So,
oh,
yeah,
Laura.
it was a pretty good one. It was a pretty good one.
Did Johnny's head explode? That is such a good
He
gift.
looked at every page. He went page by page and looked at
Oh,
every page. And he's like, oh, now this I remember. Dad talked about this, not very much, but he did mention this. And that was really, really cool to go back through all of it.
Laura, that is beautiful. Thank you for
Thanks.
sharing that. You're such a good gift giver, Laura
Oh,
Camion,
Suze,
because
thank
you
you.
live the what do we make of this, Laura? You pay attention, you listen to people, you hear what matters to them, what they yearn for, if they have any open loops in their lives. And then you do this, and anybody listening, if you so choose, if you are so moved, use your creativity to respond with a gift that communicates that that person again is seen, they are heard, and they matter.
Mm.
And it is when we are present that we can really translate that
Oh.
into great presence. I think it is a skill, it is a muscle that we can strengthen, but it starts with being present to people.
Oh, for sure. And Suze, again, you have this skill as well. You have this skill as well. I'll just say that.
You're
Say that.
sweet. Let's get out of here because we've got
I am
holiday things to
sufficiently
do.
sparked. Okay. Thank you so much.
Did you get sparked over there?
I got sparked.
So that's it. This episode of the Spark File was made on the lands of the Lenape and the Mohican people. And as always, we hope it put another bunch of sparks in your file. If there's a spark you'd like us to explore, or if you'd like to learn more about how to coach with us to accomplish your creative goals, you can email us at getcreative@thesparkfile.com or reach us through our website, thesparkfile.com.
We'll even happily take your feedback. But you know the price of admission. First, we request that you share a creative risk that you've taken recently.
You can follow us on social at The Spark File and be sure to subscribe, rate, and 5-star review this podcast. It really helps other listeners to find us. If you like this podcast, we hope you'll share it with people that you love. And if you didn't like it, take those feelings, wrap them up in pretty paper and a tiny bow, and then just shove them down your garbage disposal.
If something lights you up and gets your creative sparks flying, we are writing you a forever permission slip to make that thing that's been knocking at your door. It's your turn to take that spark and fan it into a flame.
You know, you got to take it
and make
it. Happy holidays.
Oh, great sparks, Suze.
When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my spark file. Could be something that I wanna make or how I wanna be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.
Hi, friends. Susan Blackwell here. The new year is upon us, and even under the best of circumstances, the creative process can cover some pretty rocky terrain, and our spidey senses tell us 2025 may bring even more challenging conditions. Now more than ever, we believe everyone is creative, but smart creatives don't go it alone. That's why we hope you'll join us and other awesome creatives on January 1st for the SparkFile 2025 New Year Creativity Kickoff. At this one-day virtual retreat, you'll clarify what you want to create and how you want to get there. You'll meet other makers, you'll strengthen your creative resolve, and you'll leave with an action plan for making your creative dreams a reality. It's all happening on January 1st. Visit thesparkfile.com to register for the SparkFile 2025 New Year Creativity Kickoff and to take advantage of early registration incentives like lower pricing. Y'all, in 2025, let's link arms, fear less, and create more. We'll see you there.